Welcome to Mahila Samaja online class, 8th standard, second language English. The topic, the Swan and the Princess, a folk play. First glossary, first one suppliant, a person seeking something humbly, puzzled, surprised, give up, surrender or return. Lad, a boy, a young man, naughty, mischievous. First one, suppliant, means a person seeking something humbly, means who doesn't fight or who doesn't have any proudness, who is very kind and simple. He wants some, justice. He wants some justice. A person seeking something humbly, he wants justice, so he seeks for that. He finds for that. Second one, puzzled, means surprised. In this lesson, it is surprise, something surprising, sudden surprise. Give up means surrender or return. We have to surrender means what we tell something, we have to tell, yes, it is what I told is I told. We should not argue. That is give up, surrender, or else return. Any things which we have taken from that person, we have to give back. That is called as return. Next, lad. Lad means a boy or a young man. Last one, naughty. Naughty means very mischievous. Very mischievous. Coming to the prose. The Swan and the Princess. This is a folk play. Folk play means just a drama. We can conduct this act and play. A short story. A short play. So first in the introduction it is given, who owns a bird or an animal, the one who catches it or the one who looks after it. To understand this, we have to read the following play, which deals with an incident in the life of Siddhartha. So here, one who is having a bird or animal will understand the lesson, will know about the feeling of who's this animal or who's this bird, how to look after a bird or a animal. Those who look after or those who catch and looks after the animals and the birds. So if you read, understand this, or you don't understand, read the following play which deals with an incident in the life of Siddhartha. See the lesson, how he finds hard, difficult to get a bird to himself. So the characters, who are the characters means, first one, Sudodana, the king of Kapilavastu. So Sudodana is the king of Kapilavastu. Next, Siddhartha. Siddhartha is the prince of Kapilavastu. Prince means the son of Sudodana is the prince of Kapilavastu. Next, Devadatta. Devadatta is Siddhartha's cousin, auntie's son, so he is cousin. Who? Devadatta is Siddhartha's cousin, but all are living in the same kingdom and family. Next, the chief minister and 4 other ministers of the king, the guard. So next one, the chief ministers are there in the kingdom and 4 other ministers of the king are also there, the assistant ministers. Then last, the guard is there. The guard in the lesson also is acting as the folk play. Here, first one, King Sudodana is sitting on the throne. Now the play starts. King Sudodana is sitting on his throne. Throne means king's seat. Who is sitting? King Sudodana is sitting on the throne. His ministers, his chief minister and other 4 ministers are there in the lesson. They are all sitting around him, around King Sudodana. The chief minister is saying something to him. The chief minister is saying something to the king Sudodana. Just then the guard enters and bows to the king. The guard is coming and he is bowing, giving respect to the king and telling, guard is telling, long live the king, prince, king sir, Prince Devadatta wants to come in. So the king is coming and telling the first dialogue. Long live the king. Sir, Prince Devadatta wants to come in. He wants to talk to you. So before talking to a king, they want to ask the permission. So he comes. The king tell, bring him in. Go and bring Devadatta. What he wants to talk to me. The guard bows and goes out. He gives respect and goes outside. The guard to bring Prince Devadatta. Chief Minister, I wonder why Prince Devadatta wants to see the king at this time. So there 4 ministers are there, Chief Minister. So one minister is telling, I wonder why Prince Devadatta wants to see the king, that too in the kingdom, at this time. So second minister is telling, perhaps he wants to complain against someone. Some complaint must be there. So he is coming and telling to the king. The guard is coming now. The guard enters with Devadatta. Both of them bow to the king. Now the guard and Devadatta are coming to the kingdom. They come and they bow to the king. King is asking, what is it, Devadatta? Why have you come to me at this time? The king is asking, what is the matter? Why you have come to meet me? What is there? Devadatta is answering, Sir, the prince will not give me my swan. I want justice from you. Devadatta is telling the prince. Who is the prince? Siddhartha is the prince of Kapilavastu. So the prince will not give me the swan. I want justice from you. You ask the prince and give me justice. King smiling, be calm. So king came to know, oh, the brothers are having some confusion. Okay, don't get angry. Be calm. Devadatta, has Siddhartha taken your swarm from you? The king is asking, has Siddhartha taken your swarm from you? The bird, swan is a bird, from you. So Devadatta is telling, yes, sir, he has. He shot it and it fell on the ground near the prince. He picked it up and said he wouldn't give it to me. So he told the full message, full story. Yes, sir, he has taken the swarm. I shot it. I shot the swan and it fell on the ground near the prince. Siddhartha, he picked it up and he's saying he wouldn't give it to me. So the king, that's very naughty of Siddhartha. He is telling to the guard, go and call him. Go and call Siddhartha. He is telling to the guard. The guard bows and goes outside. Third minister. I told you 4 ministers are there along with the chief minister. The third minister is telling softly to the fourth minister. The prince is a good lad. He can't do a thing that's wrong. So he is telling, third minister is telling, the prince is a very good lad. He is a very good boy. He's not like that. He can't do such a thing that's wrong. He will not do any mistake. He is very good boy. Something different is there in Devadatta's mind. Who is telling? The third minister is telling about Siddhartha. The fourth minister, I agree with you. The fourth minister was saying, yes, what you are telling is correct. Siddhartha is a very good prince. He will not do any mistake like this. Next, the guard enters with Prince Siddhartha, who has a white swan in his arms. Siddhartha bows to the king. Now the guard and the Prince Siddhartha both are coming inside the kingdom. Siddhartha is having a white swan in his arm, in his hands. Siddhartha bows to the king. Siddhartha also gives respect to the king. Though he is a father, he bows to the king. Then the king, Siddhartha, Devadatta says that you have taken a swan. Is that the swan which you took from him? So king is asking, Siddhartha, did you take from Devadatta the bird? Is that the bird in your hand? Siddhartha, Your Highness, he is telling, my lord, Devadatta has complained about this swan, but it is not his swan, it's mine. So he is telling, Siddhartha is telling, Devadatta has complained about this swan, correct, but it is not his swan, it's mine. Who tells? Siddhartha is telling. Devadatta is also next to him, beside him. He is telling, No, Your Highness, it is not his, it is mine. I shot it with an arrow. Siddhartha is telling a lie. Devadatta is telling that Siddhartha is telling a lie. I shot the bird. It is mine. How can it become Siddhartha's? So, king, be calm. Both of them be quiet. Devadatta, you say that the swan is yours because you shot it. It is right. Is that right? Devadatta, yes, sir, that's quite right. I shot the bird. It is mine. The bird is mine. What I am telling is correct. Give me justice. King, what do you say, Siddhartha? King is asking Siddhartha, what he is telling is right or wrong? Tell, why do you say that the swan is yours? The king is asking Siddhartha, how can you tell? The bird is yours. Come on, you tell something. Siddhartha, Your Majesty, Devadatta shot this swan, but I saved its life. That's why it's mine. So Siddhartha is explaining, Your Majesty, Devadatta shot the bird. Yes, I accept, but I saved its life. He shot the bird that it should die, but I saved the bird and gave its life. That's why it is mine. Who tells? Siddhartha is telling. Then minister. Here, all the ministers in the kingdom. What a nice story. Here, everybody listen. Then the king, listen, Siddhartha. A Kshatriya can't give up what he has shot. Do you agree with me? The king is telling, a Kshatriya in our kingdom, Kshatriya means the kingdom. In the kingdom, we people should give up. We should not argue. We should not argue with others. What is right, you should give justice. This is the kingdom of justice. Siddhartha, yes, I do, sir. But a Kshatriya can't give up a suppliant either. So he's telling, I cannot give up humbly. The swan came to me for protection. I can't give it up. Siddhartha is telling, the swan came to me. It flew to me and it is asking protection. So I gave it protection. I gave the life. Devadatta, Your Highness, this is injustice. I shot the swan, so it's mine. So the same dialogue Devadatta is telling. I shot the bird, it is mine. I shot the bird, it is mine. So the king, well boys, I am puzzled. So the king is telling, I am really confused or surprised to see such a matter in the kingdom. It's a strange case, very different. I don't know how to decide it. I don't know what to do. He's telling to the ministers, chief minister, can you help me? Anybody can help me. I don't know how to give justice. I don't know how to decide what to do. The king is asking the chief minister. The chief minister is telling, I'll try, Your Highness. King, very well then, okay. I will just sit and see how you will decide or do justice. So, please go ahead, the king tells to the chief minister. The chief minister, Prince Siddhartha and Prince Devadatta, please listen to me. Prince Devadatta says that the swan is because he has shot it. The prince Siddhartha says that it is his because he saved his life. Am I right? Who's telling? The chief minister is telling the Prince Siddhartha and Prince Devadatta about the matter. Siddhartha and Devadatta, yes, you are right. They tell to the chief minister, what you are telling is right. I shot it. Who's telling? I shot it. Devadatta is telling. I gave life. Siddhartha is telling. Yes, you are right. Next, the chief minister, good. Now, Prince Siddhartha, please put the swan on the stool. There is one small bench, a stool. So, keep the bird on the stool. Siddhartha puts the swan on the stool and goes back to his place. The swan is frightened and keeps looking at Siddhartha. What happens? Siddhartha puts the swan on the stool and he goes back to the place. He goes little bit far. The swan is very frightened. It is fearing, shivering, and it is looking at Siddhartha, whether he will leave the bird and go away. So next, Chief Minister, Prince Siddhartha, please come forward and ask the swan to come to you. So the Chief Minister telling to Prince Devadatta. He is telling Devadatta, please come forward and ask the swan to come to you. You call the bird. Come swan, to me you call. Then Devadatta coming forward. He came forward. Come to me, O swan, come, come, come. The swan trembles and cries with fear. So Devadatta comes forward. He is calling the bird, come swan, come to me, he is calling. But the bird is fearing and it is cries. The chief minister, that will do. Okay, Prince Devadatta, now it's your turn to call the swan. Prince Siddhartha. Devadatta goes back and Siddhartha comes forward. So the chief minister told, your time is over, Prince Devadatta. You go to your place and stand. Now Siddhartha will come and call the bird. Siddhartha going near the swan. Dear swan, don't be afraid. I've come to you. Come and sit on my arms. The swan at once flies into Siddhartha's arms. See here what happens. Siddhartha is calling the bird. Dear swan, don't be afraid. I have come to you. Come and sit on my arms. Siddhartha tells all these words. The swan at once flies and comes and sits in the arms of Siddhartha. The chief minister to the king, Your Highness, the swan has decided. Who has decided? The swan has decided. It has indeed. We accept the decision. So the swan is accepted. To who to go? The swan belongs to Prince Siddhartha. He tells, long live Prince Siddhartha. He tells, and the lesson gets over. So here are the assignment, children. Question answers for your homework. Answer the following question and share your response with your friends also. First question, what was the complaint of Devadatta against Prince Siddhartha? Second question, why did Siddhartha claim that the swan was his? Third question, how did the bird react to Devadatta's call? Fourth question, what did Siddhartha say to the swan? What did the bird do? The last question, what made Devadatta and Siddhartha approach the king? These are the 5 questions for your assignment. Right? I think you have understood the lesson. Once again, if you did not understand, you can read through and go through the lesson. Okay, children. Thank you, students.